As we mentioned in our previous video, the APLOS team frequently gets asked is whether we are lawyers, as regulatory deals with the law. In that video, we discussed the APLOS team focus from reviewing submissions to compiling submissions to doing a gap analysis. Today's video discusses the role of regulatory lawyers. So, let's get started. For simplicity, clarity, and length, we cannot discuss everything a regulatory lawyer does but only a few roles. First, lawyers may prepare and negotiate agreements for regulatory trials both domestic and international. To that end, if a product being tested could adversely affect a person's health and well-being, regulatory lawyers will draw up agreements to ensure participants know exactly what they are getting into and protect the liability of those in charge. For example, according to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, some COVID-19 vaccines could cause allergic reactions, including coughing and breathing difficulties, while more severe reactions could cause inflammation of the outer lining of the heart. With the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the CDC warned of potential blood clots and low platelets. These reactions are all exceedingly rare at 4 people per 1 million. More to the point, the COVID-19 vaccines underwent the most intensive safety analysis in US history. Nonetheless, regulatory compliance lawyers assist in limiting a drug manufacturer's liability. Next, a regulatory lawyer analyzes an industry's complex regulations to determine their implications for a client's business. This obviously depends on the field as well as the client's product. The higher the risk and more severe the consequences, the more regulations there will probably be. To that end, lawyers assist in drafting and implementing internal policies to ensure that the company complies with regulatory requirements. Again, this depends on the product and industry. For example, Boeing, with over 40,000 workers as well as manufacturing products that can have very serious malfunctions, must comply with a slew of regulations. Moving on, regulatory lawyers can represent clients during regulatory investigations, from interviews to hearings and potential legal proceedings. Finally, regulatory attorneys may help with lobbying regulatory agencies to influence future regulations or policies. So, there you have it. Regulatory lawyers play an indispensable role in regulatory compliance, but as you can see, their focus and the focus of the APLOS team are completely different. Depending on the client with whom we work, we of course might need to work with their legal counsel to maintain complete transparency, but the APLOS focus and that of regulatory lawyers, while both essential, are not at all alike. So how can the APLOS team assist? APLOS Device Regulatory Consulting UK Limited helps companies interested in getting regulatory clearance for their products but without the bloated fees and intimidating jargon. We can help with advising clients on material to include in a submission, reviewing submissions, doing a gap analysis, and compiling regulatory documentation from scratch as well as more. We explain clearly and concisely so as not to intimidate or overwhelm anyone. From our London-based offices, we work with companies all over the world. Contact us today to learn more about what we do, your needs and how we might be able to assist. Please let us know too, what questions do you have? What would you like the APLOS team to address? Please also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, as we are constantly posting more videos. And thank you as always for watching.